That time, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm headed north, and Austin's going to be joining me up in a remote camp. Very excited about getting camp set up. I'm going to hunt a couple days. Then we're going to go up back 2 separate times, 2 separate trips. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll meet you in the truck. Let's get started.
My friend Dave Williams of the ADK Trackers once told me that there are 5 different types of deer hunters. There's the trophy hunters, the trackers, the classic still hunters, and of course the sitters. I never fit into any of those categories, and I still don't. I belong to the 5th group, what he called the process hunters. You see, there's been this quiet pursuit I've had since I was a young boy, and that was to be like the Native Americans of old. I was totally fascinated by their ability to find and get wild game, especially by means of Bareground tracking. And in that young and naive goal to be like them, I began developing my relationship to the land, the animals that live there, and ultimately to what they called the spirit that moves in all things. All right, headed out of camp. First hunt in remote. I want to dedicate this whole movie to my mother-in-law, my mom. She's on my mind. It was her birthday yesterday, and they're having the party today, and I'm here out in the woods. And my in-laws are the family that taught me how to be in a family. So this whole film is dedicated to her. I love you, Mom. A nice, quiet, still hunt. We're gonna head down to the river, cross the river, and there's a place I want to go that goes along the adjacent portion of a swamp. This is where you get ready to shoot. I'm gonna mark this spot as a good spot to cross. Now I'm gonna start looking for rubs, and if I find some, I'll slow way down. There's a beat up licking branch, and a scrape. Older one. Another scrape.
Rotate it.
Yeah. So you might be wondering why Austin and I picked this place for our location for the remote hunt. There's a bunch of reasons. First of all, there's bucks back here. We've scouted this out and found that there's a lot of big bucks. Second reason is there's 2 ecosystems. To the right of me is a swamp and a lake and a river and a lot of beaver bogs, miles and miles of it. And to the left of me is a giant mountain with multiple peaks. And the bucks just love to go from one ecosystem to another because there's different doe groups on each side of us. It's a real marvel of engineering, dude. It's amazing, really.
Yeah, somebody was like, let's build this thing.
Titanium stove, like, who would think of that? I want to find a place where there's some scrapes and rubs. I'm surprised I haven't kicked any does up like out of their beds. I haven't seen a single bed, no rubs, no scrape. There's not even any old rubs in here. This just isn't a spot they must not frequent.
So, right in the middle of this gigantic swamp is one little pod of like 30 feet in elevation. So we're gonna work our way out there through all these pines. See if there isn't something sitting right on top of that. Because it's the only thing with elevation within hundreds of acres.
Thousands.
Yeah, it's big. So
So it's I was just out in the swamp. Austin was running the edge of it, and there were beds everywhere, but it's so hot out that we're guessing that they're gonna be up in that piney, sort of in the shadows, elevated perch.
We can do this one of two ways. We can either try to creep on them, or we can do some calling as we go. I don't feel it's quiet enough to try to creep. They're gonna hear us coming regardless. I'd rather them think we're a deer.
Okay, well, we can do that then. I just wouldn't call any louder than your feet fall. What was it?
It's like a little mole.
What was that?
This is great.
Relatively fresh too. This is exactly how I killed my buck in Glenville. Just creeping like this, and then got on his track. 10 minutes later, he was dead in his bed. It's awesome. Starting our second trip in. There's Austin.
People think that because every day is warm, the
Yeah.
deer won't move.
Right.
But like, it's November 7th, the rut is officially on.
Yep.
They have to move.
Right.
The bucks have to chase. They can't help themselves.
Right.
So it's like the lesser of two evils, right?
Right.
So the last 2 days were 70 plus degrees.
Yeah.
They're not moving.
Right.
But today at 50, with the wind coming in, they're on their feet right now moving. It might be slower. They might take more breaks, but they're going to be moving. Even if they're laying down, let's go find them, bump them. You know what I mean? Like,
While there are no such things as bad conditions, they're just conditions you have to adapt to.
just got to learn how to hunt them.
That's right. Well, we just got back to camp for the second time. Check this out. It's been raining for days, and we left camp in this condition right here. We left some stuff, equipment inside, but look at how dry it is. That's amazing. It's awesome. That's really impressive. So today, I'm gonna hunt and imagine that I'm 80 years old, 90 years old, and that somebody dropped me off in the Adirondacks to hunt a buck. And the reason I do this in my mind, this imaginary character, is because it forces me to slow down and look. Because if I was that age, which someday I'm gonna be, I'd have to hunt with my eyes and be smart. And I'm just gonna really take my time and enjoy the woods. Because in the end, that's what it's about. This rub isn't but 100 yards from camp. Just on the very beginning of my still hunt. Some good tracks with it. And then I'm gonna follow those tracks and hopefully see some scrapes. And I'm already in the hunt. There's a cave, bear cave, dug out. That's cool. So we dug it all out. I think we just blew it. So I'm headed into an area that looks really, really good. It's got a little bit of yellow grass. It's got fur, plenty of tracks. Yeah, there's deer in here. I just gotta take my time. Let me show you. Just gonna take 3 or 4 steps at a time. I got all day. This is where we sneak in the green and we look out in the swamp and we really take our time. And when we come to a fresh rub or scrape, We hit the grunt call lightly and wait. And it's just sneaking, creeping, peeping. So wish me luck. My goal is to catch one feeding or chasing a doe. Good old beaver dam. Sometimes the best thing you can see on a hunt isn't the deer, but sort of the traveling along the way. Yeah, it's cool. This is the end of day 2. Looks like Austin's got the fire going. I didn't see a lot of sign today. I think I heard one deer grunt, and that was that. Might go high in the mountain tomorrow. Did you cut your eye?
I think I might have cut my cornea like right over my pupil. It's just making it a little fuzzy.
Yeah.
It's better.
I did that last year.
It's a little noticeable in like here, you know?
Yep. Super annoying.
Good thing I only need my left eye to shoot.
That's funny. Austin had to go home for some family obligations, so I'm going to work the mountain that he shot his buck at last year. Just going to ride the tops. There's 3 peaks with a couple of upland swamps in the middle. The bucks love to run. We've been seeing tracks. They're definitely moving. It's November 8th. Should be a great day. It's gray and windy. We have a good chance of killing a good buck today. Stay tuned. And here it begins. You get your first piece of sign. This is really super fresh. Nothing's dried out. The leaves aren't dried out. This just happened right here. It's feeding sign. You can see where he nipped off right here. No licking branch, so it's feed sign. Could be does, but where does are, bucks are. It's in sections like this that a set of small binoculars like these, loopholes, are indispensable. I'm going to show you, and you can peer into the green growth. Let me show you. See that out there? That sort of wall of green, but there's just enough space that you can use binoculars to peer inside and see when bedded down or feeding. So this is a buck room, and you can see all the old beds. There's an old bed there, old bed there, old bed right here, one right there. It's hard to see on camera, but this is one of those gems. So we just take our time here. Man, I'll tell you what, Onyx is pretty impressive. I am somebody that rejected technology for a long time. I grew up on a mapping compass, and I still use it occasionally just to keep my skills sharp, but the truth is, I use Onyx pretty much all the time. Smartphones are pretty powerful tools. So if you haven't gotten Onyx yet, you will not regret it. Make sure you get it. Use the BWB code and get your discount off an elite membership, off of a new elite membership. Take it from somebody who was technologically challenged. It works, and it's an amazing tool, especially in the big woods. Incredible. So I'm sitting in a bowl that's it's more like a valley. Imagine a taco shell. And I'm at the bottom of the taco shell. And the wind is coming across the taco shell, across the top of it, swirling, right? I'm gonna go halfway up one of those ridges on the inside and then go down the length of the taco shell. Now the reason I'm gonna do that is because I can't tell you how many times I've had bucks sit about 3/4 of the way up on the leeward side of the mountain, and as the wind comes across, it swirls. And they just sit there and they can scent check anything that's on the other side of the taco shell, while also watching down below them for any coyotes. So I'm going to show you the top of where I'm going. So it's going to be right up there. And then I'm going to cut across that way about 3/4 to 7 4/8 of the way up to the top of that. The wind is coming across the top of that towards us. Nice bump tracks. Boom, 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 boom. We're gonna Bareground track him. Now we're at the top of the taco shell. Buck looks like he's going right up over the top. He's a good one. See the tracks? Boom, boom, boom. I love Bareground tracking. Can you see it? Boom, boom, boom. Just feeding on the log. Where the hell did he go? There he is. Bareground track buck. That's a tough thing to do. Oh. Nature doesn't care who you are or what you've done or what you care about or even what you're going through. And it's within that absolute indifference that I could finally breathe and reflect. The beauty of nature is the simple fact that you can't escape your thoughts in the vast stillness of it. You're stuck with the ghosts, the demons, and the angels that run around in your head like a circus. You're forced to confront yourself. That's its purpose. And over the years as I grew older, there was something that was happening deep within me. It was a miracle, really. My loneliness was disappearing as my connection to the earth and its creatures grew. I, of course, didn't know that at the time, as it was a slow process. And one day, not so long ago, I realized that I was learning to listen, to really listen. In short, the woods healed me. So who am I now? Well, like I said, I'm a process hunter. I'm more concerned about the process of the hunt itself than I am about the size of the rack, or the weight of the buck, or people's opinions about it all. I let the mountain decide what and how things play out. There's a beautiful freedom in allowing the spirit to choose my deer for me. And I have no real hand in that anymore. I'm just there to listen. I don't put out game cameras. I don't scout the off-season anymore. I don't add any undue pressure to my hunts. I let the process play out as it's designed by something much bigger than me. In the final analysis, I care about one thing and one thing only, feeling the pulse and the breathing of nature. And then I let the hunt play out. And there's nothing, absolutely nothing, that will make you closer to that full experience than concentrating on the tedious process of following a Bareground track. So I just want to thank everybody for joining me for this hunt. It's a real honor to be a part of Big Woods Bucks, and this buck means a lot to me because it's my first one that I Bareground tracked to fruition. It's a nice 8-pointer, probably a 2.5-year-old, and I'm just super proud of making that happen. The only thing that is missing is my son. He went home today. Every time he goes home, I get a buck. We laughed about it this morning. I also want to thank Skinner Sights for the scope, and the new 1x4 was flawless. Many miles in the mountains. Yeah, it's a tough thing to Bareground track in leaves. I came up over a mountain. I was still hunting all day, caught his track, and as you can see from the video, yeah, we got him. So I'm very proud and very happy and very humbled, because the Adirondacks I'm just looking around, it's just so magical. I want to thank everybody at Big Woods Bucks for making all this possible. The equipment, everything that we do, Chris and Hal and the whole crew. I'm super proud to be a part of this. I also want to thank my wife, my children, and my co-workers, Michelle and Ryan, who make it possible for me to hunt as much as I do. Let's get it done. Let's get it gutted and move on. So I'm sitting here in the tent, got the fire roaring. Austin's coming out tomorrow to deer cart that deer out. We got a trail. I got it pretty close to the trail. I also want to thank Brian Connor. He's done such a good job with Big Woods Bucks, and it's just such a cool thing to allow you guys, all the audience, to watch the hunt. Tell me that's not beautiful. There it is. Another Adirondack buck. So I found my niche. I found my connection. And it all came together this year with my buck, my Bareground buck. And I hope you too enjoy the process as much as I did.